Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope you are in a good condition. We are from Group C3, and right now we'll present our analysis from the article titled Education Fiasco, Discursive Strategies of School Zone System in Tempo. Without any further ado, let's jump right to into the main discussion. I'll now hand over to Silji Agnia.
The title is Education Fiasco Discursive Strategies of School Zone System in Tempo, written by Anggraeni and Wodak. This article discusses how Tempo, one of Indonesia's prominent news magazines, represents its ideology, power, and critique towards the government's decision to implement the school zone system. The system was originally intended to promote educational equality across the country. This presentation demonstrates Wodak's approach to analyzing media discourse. It helped uncover hidden power relations and ideological influences within the text. Next.
All right, let's move to overview approach. Wodak's critical discourse analysis framework is primarily summarized in the discourse historical approach. This approach emphasizes the interaction between language, history, and social context to uncover how discourse is shaped by social practices and power relations. So, why is it relevant to the article? The discourse historical approach, or DHA, helps to analyze how media discourse build public perception about school zone system by revealing the underlying ideological conflict in this controversial issue, in the form of nomination, predication, argumentation, perspectivization, or discourse representation, also intensification and mitigation. Next, please.
Is about step by step, and example, the step 1 is data collection. So the article serves a rich source for explaining discursive strategies. As noted, the discursive strategies are developed to identify critique, ideology, and power in the text entitled Another Education Fiasco. This statement highlights the importance of the text as a focal point for our analysis. By collecting data from this article, we can uncover the underlying message and themes that shape public perception of educational policies. Step 2 is contextual analysis. So the article discussed the school zone system, emphasizing that the events of government regulation are the result of policy in education. This context is crucial as it still situates the discourse within the broader framework of educational policy and governance. By understanding the context, we can better grasp how the author critiques an existing educational system and the implication of the government regulation on school. So the step 3 is discourse analysis. A key element in the text is its mention of Muhajir Effendi, Education and Cultural Minister, who is introduced as a significant social actor. This nomination served as the first site in the text, drawing attention to his role and influence in educational landscape. By analyzing how social actors are nominated, we can explore the power dynamics at play and how they shape the narrative surrounding the education. Next.
Next is ideological analysis. This analysis reveals the hidden ideologies behind Indonesia's school zoning system. On one hand, the government presents it as a way to ensure equal access to education. On the other, many members of the public see it as unfair due to the gap in school quality and limited choices for the students. For the example, in page 16, Martin in 2025, argue that political ideology can be understood as exteriorization of their own position and available strategies in a political field. And next is interpretation finding. By analyzing how media frames this issue, particularly in Tempo magazine, we see how language and tone are used to either support or challenges this perspective. As a major media outlet, Tempo plays a key role in shaping public opinion. Its reporting doesn't just inform, it influences debates on fairness, access, and government responsibility in education. In doing so, Tempo becomes an active participant in the national conversation about educational policy. For example, in page 17, therefore, its movement in journalistic film was regarded to have a strong influence and similarity to the nation ideology. Next.
Okay, we can conclude that Based on the analysis using Wodak's discourse historical approach, it can be concluded an education fiasco article from the tempo reflects ideology, power, and criticism of the school zoning system policy in Indonesia. Through discourse strategies such as nomination, prediction, argumentation, and persification, and intensification and mitigation, Tempo builds a narrative that show disagreement with the government's policy and emphasize the negative impact of the system. Tempo also positioned itself as a critical media and sided with freedom of speech. This Wodak approach is effective in uncovering the relationship between language, power, and ideology in media text, and showing how the media can influence public perception of education policy issue. So this is our presentation about analysis using Wodak's approach. Hopefully this help us gain a deeper understanding of this approach. I'm Anisa Ramadani, taking my leave. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.